The planet Arion 7 was almost silent. Broken buildings, dark skies, and burning lands showed how close the end was. Commander Rylos stood on the edge of a damaged tower, watching the enemy blockade above the planet. The Target Dominion ships looked like metal beasts waiting to strike. Their lasers glowed red, ready to destroy everything. For 3 days, Arion 7 had sent distress signals. For 3 days, no reply came. The Galactic Council had already refused help. Their message was cold and final. No support available. Arion 7 must surrender. People lost hope. Soldiers felt empty. And the Target commander smiled, knowing the planet was helpless. The last shield generator shook violently. Sparks burst out. The ground trembled as the enemy fired warning shots, enjoying the fear they created. Civilians ran for shelter, but everyone knew it would not save them. Rylos looked up again. Smoke covered the stars. Only darkness filled the sky. But then, something changed. A tiny spark appeared far above the clouds. At first, Rylos thought it was a falling rock. But the spark grew brighter, too bright, too fast. Enemy scanners beeped loudly. Target ships moved nervously, adjusting their positions. The spark suddenly stretched into a long blue tear across the sky. A hyperspace breach. Rylos stepped back in shock. A massive ship burst out of the breach with a thunderous flash. Its engines burned blue and white. Its armor shined like polished steel. And on its hull, glowing proudly, EARTHWARFLEET. Rylos whispered, "Humans?" But they were never coming. The sky ripped open again. Another ship, then another, then an entire fleet. Dozens of human warships descended like falling stars. Hope returned, and the Target Dominion finally felt fear. The Target Dominion had crushed dozens of worlds, but they had never seen anything like this. Their commanders stared at the sky in disbelief as the human fleet spread out in perfect formation. Blue engines glowed like rising suns. Heavy cannons rotated slowly, ready to fire. Every ship looked alive, like a metal giant awakened after centuries. Commander Rylos could not move. For a moment, he forgot the destruction around him. All he could see was hope descending from the sky. The largest ship, HSS Titanfall, took position above the capital city. Its shadow covered the ruined streets below. A deep, commanding voice echoed through open channels. Arion 7, this is Earth Warfleet. Stand by. You are not alone. Rylos felt his chest tighten. Humanity had come. Against all expectations. Against the Council's orders. Against the galaxy's fear. The Target fleet reacted aggressively. Their ships locked weapons on the humans, forming a deadly spear-shaped attack line. For them, this was their chance to destroy a rising human power. But the humans did not move. They waited, calm, controlled, as if they had already seen this battle 1,000 times. Admiral Saran of the Target Dominion opened a channel. His voice was sharp and filled with arrogance. Humans, leave now. This world is ours. A short silence followed. Then Captain Mara Hale of Earth Warfleet replied, her voice calm but filled with steel. We don't take orders from tyrants. The Target ships launched the first attack, red plasma beams cutting through the sky. The humans moved instantly. HSS Titanfall fired a single blue rail beam. Silent, precise, deadly. The Target lead cruiser exploded into bright fire. Rylos watched with wide eyes. The sky was no longer controlled by the enemy. It belonged to humanity. The sky of Arion 7 had become a blazing arena. Human warships and Target vessels danced between fire and smoke, each second louder and brighter than the last. Commander Rylos watched from the ground, unable to believe what he was seeing. Humanity was not just fighting, they were dominating. The HSS Titanfall moved like a giant blade, slicing through the enemy formation with perfect precision. Smaller human frigates formed shield rings, protecting the planet below. Their bright blue energy barriers shimmered like liquid fire. The Target tried to regroup. Admiral Saran screamed orders across the battlefield, furious that his fleet was being crushed so quickly. "Push forward. Break their wings," he shouted. But the humans responded faster. Their ships moved like they were connected by one mind. Every formation shift was smooth. Every attack was perfect. A squadron of human fighters shot past the capital city, engines roaring. They flew straight into a cluster of target bombers that were moving toward the surface. The human fighters split into two lines, releasing precise laser bursts. Boom, boom, boom. 3 target bombers exploded in glowing fireballs. Rylos felt hope spreading across the city. Soldiers cheered. Civilians cried with relief. For the first time in days, Arion 7 had a chance. But the target Dominion was not finished. Their flagship, the Dreadmaw, emerged from behind the clouds like a steel monster twice the size of the Titanfall. Its armor was thick, its cannons massive. A deep, rumbling sound echoed as its weapons charged. Rylos swallowed hard. That is a problem. Captain Mara Hale on the Titanfall saw it too. Her eyes narrowed. She knew the Dreadmaw was not just another ship. It was a planet killer. She opened a channel. "All units, prepare. The real battle starts now." The sky lit up again. Brighter. Faster. Deadlier. The war had just changed. The Dreadmaw moved slowly but with terrifying power. Its engines glowed red like burning suns, and every target ship cleared space for it. The sight alone made the battlefield feel heavier. Even the strong metal of the Titanfall seemed small in front of this monster. Commander Rylos felt the ground vibrate as the Dreadmaw charged its main cannon. The huge weapon at its center began spinning, gathering dark energy. Everyone on Arion 7 knew what that meant. If it fired, the entire city would vanish. Captain Mara Hale stood on the Titanfall's command deck. She studied the readings, her face calm but intense. "That cannon could destroy half the planet," she said softly. Her crew went silent. The Targeth Admiral Saran opened a channel again, his voice echoing across every ship. "Humans, this is your last chance. Leave now, or watch this world burn." But humans didn't flinch. Captain Mara replied, her tone cold as space. "We don't abandon the innocent." Then she gave the order. "All ships, target the Dreadmaw." Human warships fired everything they had. Blue beams, missiles, and plasma strikes hit the massive vessel, shaking its armor. But the Dreadmaw barely moved. Its hull absorbed the blasts like rain hitting stone. Rylos felt fear tightening his chest again. "How do you stop something like that?" he whispered. The Dreadmaw's main cannon reached full charge. The sky turned dark. Energy crackled like thunder. Then, a massive, earth-shaking beam shot downward toward the planet. At that exact moment, the Titanfall moved. Captain Mara pushed her ship forward, placing it directly between the beam and the planet. The Titanfall's shields flared bright blue, screaming under pressure. Rylos gasped. Was humanity's strongest ship about to be destroyed? The answer would change everything. The Dreadmaw's planet killer beam slammed into the Titanfall shields like a burning star. The sky flashed white. The air shook. Buildings on Arion 7 vibrated as if the planet itself was crying out. Commander Rylos threw his arm over his face, barely able to look at the blinding light above. The Titanfall shield meter dropped fast. 90%, 62%, 44%. The ship groaned loudly, metal bending from the pressure. Inside the command deck, Captain Mara Hale held tightly to the railing. Every alarm screamed. Sparks shot from control panels. Her crew fought to keep the shields alive. "Reinforce shield grid. Now," she shouted. Engineers worked desperately. Power was rerouted from weapons. Lights flickered as the giant ship focused everything on survival. The Dreadmaw pushed harder. Its red beam grew thicker, brighter, hungrier. The Titanfall shook so violently that even veteran soldiers struggled to stay standing. Rylos stared in fear. If the Titanfall fell, Arion 7 would die. But humans were not done. Captain Mara's voice cut through the chaos. "Bring the Nova Core online." Her crew froze. The Nova Core was experimental, unstable, unpredictable, but they had no choice. "Do it," she ordered again. A deep rumble started at the heart of the Titanfall. Blue light filled every hallway. The shields, which were seconds from collapsing, suddenly brightened again, stronger, sharper, almost alive. The planet killer beam hit the renewed shields, and for the first time it bent. Not much, but enough. The entire battlefield went silent. The Titanfall pushed forward through the beam, engines roaring at maximum power. It was a sight no soldier, human or alien, would ever forget. The Targoth Admiral Saran watched in disbelief. Impossible, he whispered. Humanity wasn't just surviving. They were advancing. Toward the Dreadmaw. Toward the monster. Toward victory. The Titanfall pushed through the burning beam, its shields glowing like a blue sun. Every human ship followed behind it, forming a moving wall of light. For the first time since arriving, the Targoth fleet hesitated. The Dreadmaw, once feared across the galaxy, now looked smaller in front of the unstoppable human advance. Captain Mara Hale stood tall on the command deck. All ships, prepare final strike. The Titanfall broke free of the beam and charged forward. Its engines thundered. Its hull burned with heat. Yet it kept going, driven by something stronger than metal. Driven by humanity. Admiral Saran panicked. Fire everything. Stop that ship. Targoth vessels unleashed a storm of plasma and missiles. But human interceptors swarmed in like blue arrows, destroying enemy fire before it reached the Titanfall. Human frigates created shield barriers, blocking every shot. The Dreadmaw tried to recharge its superweapon, but the Titanfall was too close now. Nova Core at full power, the engineer reported. Captain Mara nodded once. Release it. A silent moment followed. Then the Titanfall fired. A massive blue-white beam erupted from its front cannons, brighter than lightning, faster than sound. It hit the Dreadmaw directly in its main reactor. The battlefield vanished in a storm of light. A shockwave rolled across the sky, scattering enemy ships like dry leaves. The Dreadmaw split apart, its thick armor melting into glowing fragments. A second explosion followed, bigger, louder, ending the Targoth flagship forever. Commander Rylos on the ground fell to his knees, overcome with relief and awe. Above him, the human fleet held formation, silent, strong, victorious. The Targoth survivors fled into deep space, terrified of the power they had witnessed. Rylos whispered softly, "Humanity, you saved us." Captain Mara opened a final channel to Arion 7. Your world is safe. Humanity stands with you. And in that moment, the galaxy realized a truth it would never forget. When humanity arrives, the stars tremble,